here. You know, you want to join me? Pull up and join me. You know what I'm saying? Pull right up here and you can join me. I'm on live.
Yeah, talk that shit. Yeah.
We're here, baby. Pull up.
Know what's up.
211, never here.
Know what's up, y'all.
You know what I mean? We're here, baby. J1 pulling up. He went home. You know, after the gym, he want to go get fleet.
Jim will be out of business
Weatherman
after
Pete.
August 3rd, so I'm practicing the weatherman. As you can see, I'm in Harlem, New York. What up, Harlem? I love y'all, you know, but I shit don't go that fast, okay? But anyway, I just want to say, after August 3rd, I'm going to be the new weatherman. If I ain't going to be it, Kiss is going to fill in, or we're going to have to do this shit together. But August 3rd, after August 3rd,
I didn't start it. They asked me how I felt about what was said about me on another platform from some other people. You know, that's something that's I'm out of.
P isn't just saying insignificant things. They just released them along with their bars, though. Let's keep it a buck, but without a filter. All of this essentially has to do with Jim and his constant need to prove himself. Jim Jones has been performing at his worst lately, and now everything is coming back to haunt him. Whether it's his frequent Instagram postings, his rapping like he has a purpose, or his outbursts during interviews. Over the past few years, Jim has been putting a lot of effort into trying to alter the situation. Rapper, entrepreneur, street leader, and now some kind of fashionista. That was exactly what Styles P and Jim Jones, Gets Emotional Jadakiss were. Pointing out as others started to make fun of him along the way, asking things like, is this dude solid or just putting on for the cameras? It's not even necessary to say his name. Styles made the statement, you don't buy street bread. Everyone knew to whom they were alluding. That's something you have to earn. Boom, that bar struck Jim like a corpse. Jim continues to lack the respect that Styles and Jada have enjoyed for many years. Let's just call it that, regardless of how many songs he releases or how much he rocks. To keep his reputation intact, Jim Jones is either trying to become the king of New York or stirring up trouble. He doesn't know how to unwind.
P, let's talk about it. First, it started out as how much body of work you got, how many dope-ass singles you got, right? Then it grew, it progressed into having levels to this shit. It's sort of like boxing. You think you're gonna mash somebody the out until them lights come on, it's a different story. Styles P said, I'm a barsmith. It's levels to this shit. Meaning, look, I can go on my bag with sing.
After the Locks destroyed Dipset in the Versus combat, Jim should have just held that L and continued. Fans' reactions, but no. He used slick language and insults to try to make it seem like Dipset wasn't even pressed that evening. Please stop. Has anyone forgotten how Jadakiss dismantled the entire stage on his own? In that moment, the truth was exposed. Jadakiss and Styles are now urinating to let Jim know the precise time after this most recent call-out. They went all the way in. Jim claimed that he was overstretching himself by trying to be everywhere at once. Jim's recent behavior appeared to be nothing more than smoke and mirrors, and Styles P will not allow him to get away with it. He didn't even try to sound nice. He categorically declared in a recent interview that Jim's entire mood was staged. Jim built his reputation on genuine Harlem experiences rather than public relations tricks. Thus, it was painful. And when a person like Styles branded your enthusiasm as false, it hit a different chord. Final take back then, Jim had that stamp from the block. He did more than rape. Yes, he was outside. But later, Fashion Week attire and international posturing took the place of that rawness, giving the impression that he had given up his gritty side to benefit from influencer hype. People look at the changeover as well. All Styles and Jada are doing is turning up the volume. It isn't even about not harboring personal grievances. The ones pointing out what they see are the real folks. The reputation of Jada and Styles is built on straight bars and timeless classics. They were not required to take any action. Jim began discussing it once they saw that he was more interested in going viral than making good songs. Jim keeps up with trends as though he were searching for the next big thing, but the issue is with the lesser ones. The blueprint is with them. Furthermore, Jim prefers to release gimmicks rather than genuine masterpieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in a few fights.
Has he won any?
I believe so.
Oh, really? Which one?
They say he beat up.
Baby mama or something like that?
Nah, he beat up dude at the restaurant.
For the cook?
Let me see.
I don't even think he's from Harlem, tell you the truth.
You don't think he's from Harlem?
Nope. I think he's just, they never talk about him being in Harlem. I think he's from North Bronx.
You know, he claims a blood gang out there.
Britney Spears claims the.
He's receiving a sidelong glance from the originals. The streets are always aware of who is acting and who is not. What triggered the resurgence of this whole issue? Jim Jones walks into those podcast locations like he's the mayor of New York. When the man ventured to put himself above certified legends, rap fans were not amused. Jadakiss doesn't even say anything at first, but that silence says a lot. He then came back with a witty little remark that caused everyone on the internet to start talking. Jim keeps pushing this "I'm elite" story, but notoriety alone won't make you king. What you need is the grind, the hits, and the love of the streets. Additionally, as Jim is still troubled by the recollection of Versu's battle, the public recalls the silent mic drop that occurred when Jada told him the statistics. Don't lie. Try to crown yourself while slapping fingers at others, Styles P continued. Weak vibrations. Yes, that is. He said, if you have to step on folks just to stand tall, you were never built right to begin with. Boom. That fundamentally changed the subject of legacy and respect. Jim may receive a drip or a grind. Styles and Jada, though, have a darker side, credibility. They were the rulers of New York, and they didn't have to announce it. Long ago, the community had already given him that throne.
He need to go on a diet. He need to get his life together. He need to go to the doctor and get a physical. He looked terrible, bad body, back ass. He look big around the neck, waist look crazy. I'm body shaming this. You heard? He need to go get his shit together, get on the treadmill, do some push-ups, do something. You heard? Especially for.
In the meantime, Jim continues to seek approval, one post at a time. Let's not act as though this conflict has just recently arisen. It has been building for years. Long before the Versu conflict, they were employing slick banter and tweets. Little jabs, freestyles, and scenarios that individuals tried to act out. Now that the matter has been resolved, however, it is clear that Styles P and Jadakiss have been retaining the receipts. When Styles chastised some rappers for performing more for the gram than they ever did for the block in one of their Instagram lives, everyone knew who he was talking about. Jim's entire photo was turned into a billboard. It's loud and showy, but it doesn't resonate with the soul. Jada, it's not even concerning. He said plainly, we don't compete with gimmicks. All right. Some bars compete with us. That kind of smoke is unique. The Loops keep truth-bombing bars while Jim posts and takes selfies in upscale stores. The distinction between those who are nuts and those who are selecting sides. Don't misinterpret now. Jim is unquestionably skilled. However, when every action seems like an advertisement, it's hard for people to connect with the music. Especially when you're positioned among legendary musicians like Jadakiss and Styles P. Trends are unrelated to this. Legacy is at stake. And Jim's legacy seems to be seriously in question right now. In contrast, the locks out here are developing like a fine wine, solid, smooth, and only getting better with time.
Much to say about it because I don't believe that Jim Jones believes that he's a better rapper than Nas, Pusha T, and Styles P.
Yeah.
I think he's an icon in terms of the fashion shit.
Literally all.
And yeah, but we got to stop the train somewhere.
Nas is a good place to stop that.
Nas is a great place to stop that train for anybody.
Yeah.
When you start naming specific people,
I'm not mad at that.
it feels weird to me. Also, he doesn't have more Billboard entries than Nas. That's the other
I
thing.
didn't check.
What specifically causes the chaos in this situation? The way that Styles and Jada have been talking. Jim Jones still acts as though it's a joke and feels. No, they're taking it very seriously. Friendly sparring and sincere criticism are two different things. And Jim went too far when he kept throwing shade at Verse. In one of his posts, Jin tried to flip it like Jada and Styles just because he went, but he was successful. Platinum trophies, the entire hood writing for him, and timeless lyrics that are still incredible were all given to Jada. Styles P, he's still blasting songs, dropping life diamonds, and operating juice spots. The W's of actual life are as follows. Jim is out here. In the meantime, shamelessly hunting clicks and the game locks are also done by fans. Jim used to get a lot of praise for his candor. Nevertheless, supporters now assert that even his first day has veered too far into the realm of gimmicks, as though the rule had slipped his mind. Authenticity is what matters most in the rap industry. Styles and Jada have been making subtle but significant movements. Speaking out loud is not necessary. They bite when the time is right. Furthermore, Jim's attempts to minimize their legacy only work to damage his own reputation. Consequently, their statements have greater influence. They are not just making fun of other people. They are expressing what a lot of people have been feeling. One more explanation for the street chirping. Jim keeps flipping the opposite L as though Dipet hadn't been steamrolled. During interviews, he pretended to be ill-prepared or foolish, yet he hurried. There won't be any buyers. That night, the world saw Jadakiss change into a full-fledged monster. It wasn't just a moment of flex. Acted as a clear reminder of the movement, the event, and the person in command of the microphone. The LX were confined, hungry, and claustrophobic. Dipet appears to have shown up at the last minute. Jim is still making an effort to divert the criticism. The best at it was Styles P. It is impossible to remix what the audience has already seen. It just seems worse given how vibrant a structure like Jim's whirling is. He is acting as though it were single night. No, lifetime is the topic here. Jada and Styles still live in that booth. There is no rust on the pin. Jim is out here rapping about fashion and Bitcoin as part of his little side hustle. On the other hand, hip-hop has a long history. Furthermore, if you take a massive L and try to act as though it never occurred, it will only hurt your streams and seriously harm your reputation. Furthermore, his new joints aren't helping at all. Others assert that the pubs remain deserted despite his expensive shows and displays of wealth. Just a small amount of fire for the time. No soul, no real effect. The whole Jim versus Nez argument wasn't even a sincere conversation. It is a complete icon. He deserved that. NASA's lyrics are quite poignant. Not even the same galaxy contains it. Jim, man, half of what Jim is saying doesn't even make sense when you contrast it with what Nas contributed to the game. Like hip-hop, move quickly. Are all of you genuinely pretending to be ignorant? Are you crazy? It's tempting to treat this like a game. It is unacceptable to play with someone's legacy in that manner. It's not even close, as you are all aware. Source magazine was kind to me. I accomplished things that are legendary. Jadakiss keeps dropping bars that cause the net to quiver. Meanwhile, no promotion and pressure. He and Styles are the epitome of rap endurance. Supplying in order to stay current. They don't have to act naughtily. Their reputation was not based on influence, but on hard effort. Styles even put it simply. Over time, only one of them will survive. The others built brands and bridges. Jim is now tremendously invested in his brand, but that only works if the music matches the passion of the listener. Even though it looks good, if the lyrics are bad, it won't be memorable. Instead of spewing genuine bars, Jim is posting fits and leaving derogatory comments in the subtitles. That's what influencer behavior is. Although it's wonderful for the grams, it's insufficient in this rap game. This is more than simply personal hostility. There's a culture war going on. This modern flash movement stood in stark contrast to traditional depth. Jim is trying to portray every character, with the exception of Styles and Jada. To put an end to it, all they need is a microphone. This is where things get hot for